Part 1. Why 2026 will expose untrained minds. Most people misunderstand control. They think control means dominating situations, people, or outcomes. The Stoics meant something far more dangerous and far more powerful. Control over yourself. Because if your emotions own you, if your impulses command you, if your fears steer your decisions, then it doesn't matter how successful you look. You are not free. 2026 will not be gentle with untrained minds. The speed of life is increasing. The pressure is increasing. The noise is increasing. And the people who suffer the most will not be the least intelligent. They will be the most reactive. If you don't build internal discipline, external chaos will build it for you, brutally. That's why the Stoics trained before life tested them. They didn't wait to feel calm. They didn't wait to feel confident. They practiced control when things were quiet so they could remain steady when things broke. These 12 habits are not self-help ideas. They are survival skills for the coming year. And they start with one truth most people refuse to accept. Your mind is not neutral. Left untrained, it works against you. Habit 1. Delay your reaction, the hidden source of power. The first impulse you feel is almost never wisdom. It's conditioning. It's your past experiences speaking louder than your values. The Stoics noticed something most people still ignore. The fastest reaction is usually the weakest one. Anger wants speed. Fear wants speed. Ego wants speed. Wisdom wants space. When something triggers you, a comment, a message, a look, your nervous system tries to decide for you. The Stoic response is not suppression. It is delay. Even a few seconds changes everything. That pause interrupts the automatic chain between stimulus and behavior. And whoever controls that pause controls the outcome. In 2026, speed will be everywhere. Messages will demand instant replies. Opinions will demand instant allegiance. Emotions will demand instant expression. But power will belong to the person who is not rushed internally. Practice delaying responses. Not forever. Just long enough to regain authorship of your behavior. That habit alone will separate you from most people. Habit 2. Separate facts from the story your mind invents. Your mind is a storyteller. It fills gaps instantly, and it does not ask permission. Someone doesn't respond. Someone changes tone. Someone disagrees. Before facts arrive, your mind supplies meaning, and then you react, not to reality, but to a narrative. The Stoics trained themselves to ask one grounding question. What do I actually know? Not what do I feel? Not what do I suspect? Not what do I fear? What is observable? What is verifiable? Most emotional suffering dissolves when stories lose authority. In 2026, misinformation will not only come from media, it will come from inside your own head. If you cannot challenge your interpretations, you will be manipulated by them. Habit 3. Regulate the body before you try to think. A panicked body cannot produce a rational mind. This is not philosophy. This is biology. The Stoics understood this intuitively. Modern science confirms it. When your body is tense, your thinking narrows, your patience shrinks, your perspective collapses. Trying to think positively in that state is useless. Control begins physically. Slow breathing, relaxed posture, stillness under pressure. The calmest person in the room is not emotionally numb. They are regulated. In 2026, emotional intelligence will matter more than IQ. and emotional intelligence starts in the nervous system. Habit 4. Accept discomfort as the price of freedom. Comfort creates dependency. The more you need comfort, the more easily life controls you. The Stoics practiced discomfort deliberately, not to suffer, but to remove fear of suffering. Cold, hunger, silence, effort without applause. They trained themselves to be okay without guarantees. In 2026, people who avoid discomfort will panic first. People who practice it will remain composed. Freedom is not comfort. Freedom is resilience. Habit 5. Stop explaining yourself to people who already decided. Explanation feels noble. Often, it's insecurity. When someone is committed to misunderstanding you, clarity will not save you. The Stoics valued reason, but they did not waste it. Not every person deserves access to your inner logic. Not every conflict deserves engagement. In 2026, energy management will be more important than persuasion. Silence is not weakness. It is selective strength. Habit 6. Reduce input before you try to improve output. Your mind is not broken. It is overstimulated. Constant content, constant opinions, constant comparison. A flooded mind reacts emotionally because it never rests long enough to evaluate. The Stoics practiced mental simplicity. Few desires, few distractions, clear priorities. In 2026, the sharpest minds will not consume the most information. They will consume the least necessary. Habit 7. Use irritation as a teacher. What irritates you reveals you, not the other person, you. Impatience reveals entitlement. Anger reveals attachment. Defensiveness reveals fear. The Stoics didn't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" They asked, "Why does this disturb me?" In 2026, growth will come from introspection, not blame. Habit 8. Practice voluntary difficulty daily. Comfort dulls perception. A life without challenge creates a fragile mind. The Stoics strengthened themselves before life forced hardship. They chose difficulty so difficulty would not choose them. Do one hard thing daily, deliberately. No audience, no reward. This builds internal authority. Habit 9. Detach self-worth from results. If your value rises and falls with outcomes, you will never be calm. The Stoics focused on effort, not applause. Control what belongs to you. Release what does not. In 2026, emotional stability will come from identity, not validation. Habit 10. End every day with a quiet audit. No judgment, no shame, just truth. Where did I react? Where did I respond? What pattern is forming? Most people repeat mistakes because they never look at them long enough. Awareness breaks cycles. Habit 11. Move before you feel ready. Readiness is fear with a better vocabulary. You act first. Confidence follows. The Stoics moved with reason, not comfort. In 2026, momentum will belong to those who move despite uncertainty. Habit 12. Decide who you are before life decides for you. If you don't choose your values, pressure will. If you don't choose discipline, emotion will. 2026 will shape everyone. Only a few will shape themselves. If you're still listening right now, you're already doing something rare. You're investing in your character. If you want more deep guides like this, subscribing just keeps them in your feed. not as a favor, as a tool. It just helps you not miss the next toolkit. Because a subscribe channel is like a library you don't have to search for when life hits you. And in the comments, answer this honestly. Which habit already exposed something uncomfortable in you? Part 2. Why most people lose control and how Stoics didn't. If you've made it this far, something already clicked. Not excitement, recognition. Because deep down, you know this isn't about habits. It's about who's in control when pressure shows up. Most people believe they are making choices. In reality, they are following patterns. And patterns don't care about your intentions. They care about repetition. The Stoics understood something uncomfortable. When life applies pressure, you don't rise to your ideals. You fall to your training. That's why good intentions disappear in conflict. That's why people promise calm and deliver chaos. That's why intelligence collapses under emotion. Not because people are weak, but because they never trained the right layer of the mind. Let's talk about that layer. The hidden enemy, automaticity. Most of your daily behavior is automatic. Your reactions, your tone, your defensiveness, your scrolling, your avoidance. You don't choose them. They activate. The Stoics didn't call this psychology. They called it slavery. Because if something inside you acts without permission, you are not in charge. In 2026, automation will increase everywhere. Technology, systems, routines. If your inner life is also automated, you will be easy to control. The Stoic solution was not resistance. It was awareness. They trained themselves to see impulses as they arose, before those impulses became behavior. That is the real pause. Why willpower fails. Most people try to change through force. They promise themselves, I won't react next time. I'll stay calm. I'll do better. Then, the moment arrives, and the body takes over. Willpower fails because it operates too late. By the time you're trying, the reaction already started. Stoicism works earlier. It targets the moment emotion first appears, not the explosion at the end. If you wait until anger peaks, you've already lost control. Training begins when irritation is still small. That's why Stoic habits feel subtle. They operate upstream. The Stoic definition of strength. Strength is not loud. It does not argue. It does not rush. The strongest person in a conflict is the one least desperate to win it. Desperation is always reactive. The Stoics trained for inner independence. They wanted nothing that could be taken away easily. Approval? Unreliable. Comfort? Temporary. Status? Fragile. They built strength where life could not touch it, in judgment, restraint, and character. That is why they could remain calm while others unraveled. Scenario. The provocation. Imagine this. Someone challenges you publicly. Not violently. Subtly. A comment. A tone. A dismissal. Your body reacts instantly. Heart rate rises. Mind sharpens into attack mode. Most people speak now. They defend. They explain. They escalate. The Stoic response is silence. Not because they have nothing to say, but because they are choosing when to say it. That silence does something powerful. It denies the other person control over your emotional timing. When you respond later, calmly, your words carry weight. Timing is authority. The cost of being easily triggered. People who are easily triggered are easy to manipulate. They can be rushed, provoked, distracted, They give away leverage without realizing it. In relationships, in work, in negotiations. The Stoics saw emotional reactivity as a strategic weakness. Not morally, practically. If someone can predict your reaction, they can steer you. In 2026, predictability will be exploited. The disciplined mind will be rare and valuable. Scenario: the inner voice. Not all loss of control comes from others. Sometimes the voice that dominates you is internal. You fail at something, miss an opportunity, make a mistake. Immediately the inner narrative begins. You always mess things up. You're behind. You should be better by now. Most people believe that voice is truth. It isn't. It's conditioning. The Stoics treated thoughts the same way they treated insults from others. They examined them. They asked, is this useful? Is this accurate? Does this help me act with virtue? If not, they let it pass. You don't have to believe every thought just because it appears. That single realization changes everything. Why calm is misunderstood. Calm is often mistaken for indifference. The Stoics were not indifferent. They cared deeply, but they refused to let care become chaos. They felt emotions. They simply didn't obey them blindly. Emotion is information, not instruction. In 2026, emotional maturity will be mistaken for coldness. Let it be. Stability makes unstable people uncomfortable. That is not your problem. The compound effect of small responses. Big life changes rarely come from big moments. They come from small decisions repeated under pressure. Choosing not to respond immediately. Choosing restraint. Choosing silence. Choosing perspective. Each time you do this, you reinforce a new identity. I am someone who does not panic. I am someone who chooses. I am someone who governs myself. Identity compounds faster than motivation. The Stoics built character the way others build habits, through repetition. The illusion of control over others. Most reactivity is rooted in one illusion, that you should be able to control how others behave. You can't. The Stoics accepted this fully. They didn't waste energy fighting reality. They invested energy mastering response. When you stop trying to control people, you regain control of yourself. That trade is always worth it. The quiet confidence that follows. Something changes when you stop reacting. You become harder to provoke, harder to rush, harder to destabilize. People notice, even if they don't say it. Your presence feels different, not aggressive, grounded. That is Stoic confidence. It does not announce itself. It reveals itself under pressure. Part 2. Closing. CTA. If this is making you reflect uncomfortably, that's a good sign. Growth always feels like exposure at first. In Part 3, we will go deeper into long-form Stoic mental training for 2026, including how to rebuild identity, discipline desire, and remain steady when everything accelerates. Part 3. How Stoics built inner authority and why it matters in 2026. If you listen carefully, you'll notice something. The most controlled people rarely talk about control. They don't announce discipline. They don't chase attention. They move differently. Calm under pressure, measured in conflict, grounded when others rush. That calm is not talent. It is structure. The Stoics did not rely on mood. They built inner systems, and systems endure when motivation disappears. Why identity comes before habits. Most people try to change behavior without changing identity. They say, "I'll try to be calmer. I'll try to be disciplined. I'll try not to react." Trying fails under pressure. The Stoics approached life differently. They asked first, "What kind of person am I becoming?" Because behavior follows identity automatically. If you see yourself as someone who reacts, you will. If you see yourself as someone who governs themselves, you'll hesitate, even unconsciously. In 2026, identity will matter more than goals. Goals end. Identity compounds. The Stoic practice of premeditation. One of the most powerful Stoic tools was mental rehearsal. They imagined difficulty before it arrived. Criticism, loss, delay, disrespect. Not to suffer, to remove surprise. Surprise amplifies emotion. Preparation neutralizes it. If you expect comfort, discomfort feels like injustice. If you expect challenge, discomfort feels like training. In 2026, the prepared mind will stay calm while others feel betrayed by reality. Desire is where most people lose freedom. You are not controlled by what you fear most. You are controlled by what you desire most. Approval, certainty, comfort, being right. The Stoics understood this clearly. They trained themselves to want less, not because wanting is bad, but because excessive desire makes you predictable. If someone knows what you crave, they can pull your strings. In 2026, the most manipulated people will be those who cannot tolerate discomfort, uncertainty, or silence. Reduce desire. Increase freedom. The Stoic rule for decision-making. When facing a choice, the Stoics asked one question: is this within my control? If not, they released it emotionally before acting practically. This prevented panic. Most anxiety comes from trying to control outcomes instead of effort. In 2026, peace will belong to those who invest fully in action and detach fully from results. This is not indifference. It is focus. Why discipline is quiet. True discipline doesn't announce itself. It doesn't need motivation. It doesn't rely on mood. It shows up when no one is watching. The Stoics trained discipline in private so they could remain steady in public. They didn't chase intensity. They chased consistency. In 2026, intensity will burn people out. Consistency will carry people forward. The power of voluntary restraint. Just because you can respond does not mean you should. Just because you can speak does not mean you must. The Stoics practiced restraint as a form of strength. They learned that silence often communicates more than argument. In heated moments, restraint protects dignity. You don't lose power by holding back. You lose power by reacting. How to remain steady when everything accelerates. Life is speeding up. Information, expectations, decisions. The Stoic response is not resistance, it is grounding. Daily routines, simple habits, clear principles. When external speed increases, internal pace must slow. Those who cannot slow internally will fracture under acceleration. The Stoic response to failure. Failure did not define the Stoic. Reaction did. They didn't ask, "Did I fail?" They asked, "How did I respond?" Failure is external. Response is character. In 2026, failure will be common. Loss of composure will be costly. Learn to fail without losing yourself. The moment you realize you're free, freedom does not arrive dramatically. It arrives quietly. One day, something happens that would have once controlled you. A comment, a delay, a setback. And you notice something different. You're calm, not because you're numb, because you're trained. That moment is worth every habit. The Stoic definition of success. Success is not a perfect life. It is a governed mind inside an imperfect one. It is choosing your response even when you cannot choose circumstances. In 2026, success will not belong to the loudest voices. It will belong to the steadiest ones. If this series changed how you see control, subscribe to the channel. We don't teach motivation here. We teach mastery. And in the comments, answer this carefully. What emotion controls you the most? And what habit will you build to take that control back? Because the year ahead will shape everyone. The question is whether it shapes you by default or by discipline. Part 4. The quiet freedom. Most people never reach. If you listen closely, you'll notice something important. Hard lives create pain. There's no denying that. But suffering deepens when a person feels powerless inside their own mind. Two people can face the same hardship. One breaks, one remains steady. The difference is not strength or luck. It's inner control. The Stoics understood this early. You don't lose your freedom when life becomes difficult. You lose it when your emotions begin making decisions for you. That is the moment control shifts. And most people never notice when it happens. They think freedom is about options. The Stoics knew freedom is about independence from impulse. When nothing inside you demands immediate obedience, you become hard to manipulate, hard to rush, hard to destabilize, hard to own. That is real power. 2026 will not ask for your permission. It will move fast. It will provoke. It will pressure. And in those moments, the world will quietly ask you a question. Who is in charge right now? Not who looks confident. Not who sounds loud. Who decides? Every habit you build answers that question in advance. When you pause instead of reacting, you answer it. When you question your interpretation, you answer it. When you regulate your body, reduce desire, practice discomfort, and reflect honestly, you answer it. You are telling life, I am not available for emotional chaos. That doesn't make life easy. It makes life manageable. There will still be loss, still disappointment, still uncertainty. But there will also be something rare. Stability. The kind that doesn't depend on mood. The kind that doesn't collapse under criticism. The kind that doesn't panic when plans break. That stability is not personality. It is earned. And once earned, it cannot be taken from you. 1 year from now, you will not remember every detail of this video, but you will remember how it made you think. You will remember a moment when you paused, a moment when you didn't react, a moment when you chose restraint. That moment will feel small. It isn't. That is the moment your future changed direction. If this series helped you see control differently, subscribe to the channel. We are not here to hype you up. We are here to help you build something that lasts. And before you leave, answer this in the comments, not for others, but for yourself. What will you stop letting control you in 2026? Because the quietest decision is often the most powerful one, and the person who governs themselves cannot be ruled.